So I'm going to type in pulse settings again. And now when I click on pulse settings, it's going to give me a dialog box that just says something about legacy computed inputs. Just click OK if you see something like that. What we're noticing here though is the start icon did not come on. So there's no green icon right there. That means that we're not in communication between the computer and the PowerLab box. So I will now shut this down, turn it on correctly again, and go right back to that pulse settings file. Okay, so now we can see the green icon is there, and we're ready to go. So I just point that out because that's a very common error. It kind of persists for students throughout the semester, throughout the year. So if you're not seeing that start icon, it means you likely didn't hook up the power cable, the USB cable. Basically the computer and the PowerLab box are not in communication. So right now we're looking good. We have these big monitors, so you may as well just maximize your screen here. When I say maximize, it's this icon next to the red X, and that gives us the whole screen to look at. What I'm going to do here is just put this on my finger snugly, and when I say snugly, it's going to be tight enough where it's not going to readily pull off here. So now what I'm going to do is just click down on the start icon, and what I can see here is that there's some kind of signal moving across the screen. I need to make a couple adjustments so this signal actually looks good to us and we can determine anything from it. I can tell that I have what looks to me like a really small indicator that I have a pulse going here. So what I'm going to do is make a couple changes that should make this easier to see. The first thing I'm going to do is expand the horizontal scaling. So what you'll notice is this is going to spread out what I'm looking at, and I've just spread it out once. I want to now increase the sensitivity, so I'm going to change the range here, and I'm going to put it at 100 millivolts, moving from 2 volts to 100 millivolts, and now I'm going to click OK. Okay, now I can see that I have some spikes coming across the screen. It does look like it's corresponding with the pulse that I'm feeling right now. And now what I'm going to do is again click on the horizontal scaling. And I've expanded that. Okay, now we have some good spikes. We can actually tell something from this data. And now I'm going to make it just a little bit more sensitive. Now I can do two different things. I can go into this pulse transducer area, or I can go over here and simply click on the positive or negative icons, and those are going to enable me to make this fit in the screen perfectly. So a nice, quick, easy fix there, and that's going to work for us today. So with that, I'm going to just let this run as I'm being fairly quiet here. You would have your subject seated for this, and we would try to minimize any crossover of wires, any coiling of wires. These wires carry a current through them, and around those wires we can have electromagnetic fields that can cause some problems for us. So if I'm just going to stand here for a second, I can see if my signal cleans up, and I'm standing off to the side. So I can see that something else is going on, causing some problems. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to move over to the other side here and get away from any power cables. Make sure that nothing is coiled too much, and as I'm moving around you can see what we call noise on the screen. I'm trying to reduce this noise. Okay, I can see that it is cleaning up, but I'm going to make some minor adjustments. Again, I have some coiling here in the wire. I'm going to check the tightness of this and make sure that I